Salutations everyone, this is Rage here, finally giving you guys my recap and analysis of Royal Flush 2017 on the Smash 4 side of things, where Zero reigned supreme once again. But it was a hell of a tournament, a lot of upsets. We saw a few up-and-comers get some of their best place finishings, a couple people coming out of nowhere. We had a lot of upsets. Supergirl Kells beating out Pink Fresh, Tweak 3-0ing Anti, 3-1ing Nairo. We had the Great Gonzalez, a Ness player, 3-2ing Mr. E, 3-0ing Pink Fresh. Frozen with the Corrin, 3-0ing Anti. Icy Mist with the Samus, 3-2ing Sandstorm, who was a Ryu, who 3-0'd Captain Zack. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of give or take. So let's look at our top 8. Of course, Zero on top, running that tournament win streak, beating Mr.R in 3 sets, winning in winners finals, Mr.R resetting the bracket, and then Zero taking it 3-2 in grand finals, set 2. Then in third place, we have Tweak, and we got Void in 4th. 5th place, we got our up-and-comers, Supergirl Kells, her best finish at a tournament of this size, and the Great Gonzalez, someone we may need to watch out for, playing a really a much different Ness than maybe some people may be accustomed to be seeing in a tournament at this high a level. The silly kind of stuff that man was doing to people. And then we have Nairo and Wadi rounding out top 8. So let's look at the tail of the tape in top 8, where we start on winner's side with Supergirl Kells versus Zero. Zero here, of course, coming through winners, having beat Logic and Wadi to make it into top 8. Supergirl Kells making her way through winners by defeating Icy Mist and Pink Fresh. Now, while Zero has lost to a couple of Sonics in the past, he hasn't in a while, and he has since beating them all, but Kells plays a different Sonic than, say, Seagull Joe or 6WX, Komori Curie, Wrath, or even Ken. You know what to look for in a Sonic, but Kells is much more safe in a lot of her options. She's not, say, as like aggro as Wrath or go for a lot of the same thing over and over again like Ken. She did an amazing job of playing around Zero's shield, which you see some of the high Sonics out there struggle with once they get to, the top 16 area, is how to play around shield with a lot of these other big top competitors. Zero knows how to fight Sonics, and that if you can mix in those grabs and change things up at the ledge, then Sonic is going to have a real rough go of it. But Kells didn't overcommit and would homing attack out of these shielded spin attacks to bounce off of Zero's shield and not get punished, or fast fall nair, punishing Zero, who is staying in shield and would then get poked. Kells is able to use Smashville's layout to full effect and takes game 1. Game 2, Zero brings it to FD and catches everything that Kells is trying to get going and makes quick work of her first stock and takes care of the second without any problems. Game 3, Kells takes it to Dreamland. She adjusted her movement perfectly to suit the tri-platform, which, with the different kind of platform layouts, especially some of the fast characters, they're going to play a lot differently in order to find success. So using the tri-platforms to not give away free damage, and either would wait for Zero's approach, which he typically wouldn't, and just wait it out, or use Sonic's speed to pick the opening that she wants. Kells makes a quick conversion off the top, and Zero gets her right back to even things up. Supergirl Kells gets off to a 100% lead and is then hit with her biggest and all too common bane in tournament and SDs, an unforced error, homing attack off stage, and Zero takes the lead. Zero is doing a great job at keeping the pressure at the ledge, but what was key for Supergirl Kells was that she was not letting the ledge dictate that match, which very much could have been the story of this set. Back on Dreamland in Game 4, Kells gets the first stock again, but Zero didn't take the bait as often as he did in the first few games, called out a couple of landings, and came out with the tried and true up smash out of down tilt after trading back and forth, and he takes it 3-1. But honestly, Supergirl Kells proved in this set that she's what she's capable of, and that she could have won that set. Outside of Game 2, she was almost always playing ahead, changed up her approaches, and maybe most importantly, when Zero started to gain momentum out of the match, she didn't falter and would bring it back instead of letting Zero just snowball and get like a quick 2-stock or a huge 100% extra lead. Unfortunately, she SDs again at a crucial moment, much like many Sonics tend to do, but Zero does not accept mistakes and makes the small moments count and makes his windows of attack into stocks being taken. On the other side of winners, we have Mr.R, who 3-0'd John Numbers and Void to get here, and Tweak had no easy mountain to climb either, as he 3-0'd Anti and beat Nairo 3-1. So here in game 1, we have Sheik against Cloud, a matchup that can be quite frustrating for both characters. You gotta be patient and be careful of your landings with Sheik. For Cloud, if you get sent off stage once, that might be it. But if you can get Limit, Sheik is gonna have one hell of a bad time. Funny enough, that's exactly how game 1 goes. Tweak's jump gets sniped by the needles before he even reaches 100%. Tweak catches a bouncing fish with the up air to even things up, and with Mr.R unable to kill Cloud, Tweak is able to charge Limit and catches a landing with the Blade Beam for the game 1 victory. Game 2, Mr.R takes it to FD and Tweak takes it to DK. And we know how dangerous Tweak's DK is and how Sheiks have had problems with DK counterpick in the past, including Mr.R. Mr.R is unable to mitigate mistakes in the first stock, but at the same time doesn't kill DK until 223%, leaving 100% on himself. Mr.R does, however, get to 90% extra credit, but Rage DK makes everything dangerous, no matter what the percent is. Tweak finds his opening, but misses the ding dong. However, with Max Rage, is just able to up tilt and seal the deal, and Tweak goes up 2-0. We run it back to FD. Tweak takes the first stock by throwing Sheik right against the stage, and Mr.R doesn't kill DK again until 190th percentile. But as long as Mr.R can avoid the grab and keep DK off stage, he'll be fine, which he does to force game 4. Tweak stays on DK and goes to Town and City. Mr.R is able to get Tweak off stage early, and after 3 consecutive bouncing fishes, the Kill Lightning finally takes and Mr.R gets the stock lead. Tweak comes right back and finds the grabs and the almighty matchup defining ding dong to even things up. Mr.R brings Tweak to the ledge, hits him with the down tilt into up smash to demand a game 5. Back on Town and City, Tweak switches back to Cloud, but it was a little too late as Mr.R brings the Thunder, laps him in stocks, makes him waste his limit, and bounces Tweak into losers with the reverse 3-0. Then on loser side, we have the Great Gonzalez, the Ness player, and Wadi, possibly the best Mewtwo now that Abadongo has switched to being a Bayonetta main. Coming through here on loser side after beating Zenoto and Frozen. He was sent to losers by Zero and is up against a newcomer to top 8, your residential Paper Mario aficionado and For Glory champion, the Great Gonzalez, who got here by beating John Numbers, Mr. E, and Pink Fresh with the Ness. That's quite the kill list, taking out the #1 Wii Fit in the world, top 3 Marth player, and a top 5 Bayo player. So the Great Gonzalez was straight up fire, let me tell you. Obviously taking the bracket by storm seemingly out of nowhere and taking out, like I said, a top Wii Fit, a top Marth, and a top Bayonetta with a Ness, a character that's fallen out of the meta with not much success out of Shaky or Foe or Nakat for a good long time now. Last time we saw a Ness do this well, Mewtwo was still garbage. That's how long it seems like it's been. The first 2 games, Mr. GG was taken to Wadi, never changed his game plan against the Mewtwo, and played into that patient Ness playstyle that pays dividends if you don't get frustrated and keep looking for another option. Wadi could only avoid so many things before the percent and pressure of Ness could get to him with the all-powerful back throw and covering ledge options. Wadi makes the switch to Rob in game 3, but that big booty is just more combo food for Ness, and he'll walk the dog all over Rob, covering the ledge both times to finish off the 3-0. Then we have another matchup in losers that you would expect to come out of winners is Void versus Nairo. Void being sent to losers by Mr.R and beating Icy Mist, Nairo, who was sent to losers by Tweak, and beat Zenodo 3-2 to survive to this point. Nairo starts off game 1 with Lucina, having used Lucina against Mr. R at CEO Dreamland. Lucina has seen a lot more play in competitive lately by Zero, Nairo, and also in Greninja Saga saw Komo's Lucina as he's trying to add her and Marth to his repertoire. So Nairo takes a close game 1, making a lot of work in his punish game, taking advantage of Void in the air without his jump, and Void was bringing it back only for Nairo to convert with that oh so consistent and prevalent 1-frame tipper spike from the falchion. Game 2, Void takes it to FD, and we see him get really creative around the ledge and offstage against Lucina. Real slick stuff to look for the kill, sure, but more so to keep Lucina offstage and in the air to set up for more possibilities for the bouncing fish or possibly a smash attack upon landing. Game 3, Nairo takes it to Lilat and brings in the option coverage and twice punishes the ill-advised bouncing fish from Void offstage to take his own lead back to 1. Void brings things to Dreamland, and Nairo does not make the switch to ZSS with the tri-platform, so he must be really feeling the Lucina, but so is Void as he takes her first stock early, clashing with the Dolphin Slash to where Nairo can't make it back on a secondary attempt. Nairo evens up the stocks with an 80% on his girl, and Void nails the up air drag down on the top platform to the down throw, catches the air dodge, and evens up the set 2 apiece. Decisive game 5, Nairo goes to Town and City with the Zero Suit Samus, and Void is ready. Nairo looking for the perfect spacing and the Simon Belmont off stage, but Void's avoidance game was on point. High percentage from both players, and Void gets the stock and really seals the deal on Nairo's respawn, where he gets a quick 0-70 combo before dropping his first stock and is able to take care of Nairo before he gets too much in the danger zone and wins it 3-2, eliminating Nairo. Then in winners finals, we have Mr. R versus Zero. Zero, as usual, starts off in control, and you can see Mr. R trying to get rid of Diddy's first stock relatively early with some risky options. Does end up taking the first stock and gets a ton of extra credit as well before going down, while still looking for a gimp or at least set up an opportunity to maintain stage control and just keep the damage going. Zero is able to close the percent gap, only to see Mr. R burst grenade off stage for the SD in a game that really could have gone either way. Game 2, back to Battlefield, and Zero again is in control. Didn't drop anything and definitely kept things in neutral a lot better. Was able to reset when coming back from the air and is able to close it out with the up throw into up air. Game 3, Mr. R makes the switch to Cloud, but Zero is too much and keeps the conversions coming, putting Cloud in that golden range off stage, this little cone where the climb hazard is just gonna get spiked, and Zero hits it twice for the 3-0. Now here in loser semis, we have Void against Supergirl Kells. These two had a real close set in pools, remember back in Frostbite, where Void took it in the last stock situation with the up air. Kells looking for revenge and to stay alive in tournament, as is Void. Void starts off the first game strong, and Supergirl Kells has a lot of trouble taking out that first stock of the Sheik. No true kill options at this percent for Sonic makes things difficult, but Void made matters worse with his avoidance game and landing options, eventually taking the first stock with the back throw, but the damage was already done, and Void takes game 1 with that big early lead. Game 2, Smashville, Kells punishes on Void's F smash on shield, gets back thrown for his trouble, and Kells takes the lead. After trading stocks, Kells keeps Void in the air, does a great job at mixing up around Sheik in the air that is quite safe and keeps up the pressure as well, doing a much better job at getting in on stage and mixing in how she deals with shield, and gets the back air on Get Up for game 2 victory. Void takes it to Town and City, probably looking to take things off the top with the up air a little early that wasn't killing in game 1. Supergirl Kells once again off to a small lead in game 3, doing a good job at the ledge of bobbing in and out of safe distances, and gets the first stock on the spin dash to neutral air. Stocks trade out, and Void slowly builds a lead and does indeed take it with the F tilt to up air on that low ceiling. Game 4, Void on Town and City again is able to play around Kells' Sonic. A lot of F-tilts after shielding the spin dash and continuing the perfect avoidance of the up airs that Kells was throwing out there. Didn't land once when it was so crucial near the top. He drags down Kells to the platform, gets the back throw into up air for the first stock on the DI mix-up or whatever he was going for. I don't know if that's something that he does on Town and City when the platforms are moving that way or not. But after a trade, sending them both in the air on the last stock, Kells is the first to air dodge and Void catches it with the up air and wins it 3-1. Then we have Tweak versus the Great Gonzalez. Now in this matchup, I think it does heavily favor Cloud because of Ness's movements on and off stage, not able to deal with the big powerful disjoint very well, but Ness's aerials can link to Cloud's demise when without limit and can PK Thunder for easy damage or edge guard off stage for that climb hazard catch. Game 1, Tweak gets off to a huge lead, has the Great Gonzalez at the ledge, and is repeatedly over and over again catching Ness going back to stage and throwing him back off time and time again. However, unable to take the first stock, holding on to limit, lets it rip with the Blade Beam finally and does not kill Ness at 183% from across the stage. With full rage, Ness grabs Cloud with a staled back throw into forward air to take the first stock. Tweak trades out with the F tilt to even it up, and Great Gonzalez nails a back air to offstage PK Fire to PK Thunder to intercept the climb hazard to take game 1 like a champ. Game 2, Tweak gets off to a big lead again, but finishes his food with the offstage limit cross slash with only 34% on himself. But that's all that Gonzalez needed as he gets back with the forward throw to PK Thunder 2, a massive 36% and killer knockback on one attack, and Gonzalez hops on the comeback train once again. Gonzalez then almost pentuple fares Cloud into the blast zone, but Tweak limits back, gets Ness off stage and waits for the opportunity, gets the back air to seal the deal and even it up at 1 apiece. Game 3, Tweak starts to take control. Gonzalez elects too many unsafe options contesting Tweak with limit and gets punished hard for it. Too much pressure, as we know this matchup can be, not allowing Ness to land, and Tweak having the option coverage on Ness with his slow and easily interceptable jump, knowing that we have a lot of startup to get that PK Thunder 2 get back to stage. As long as he can drop down, wait for the option, 3 cross slashes later, and Tweak gets the convincing 2 stock twice in a row for the 3-1 victory. And then we have Void versus Tweak. Here in loser semis, Void starts things off very quickly, getting Tweak off stage and racking up the damage, sealing the first stock with the Vanish, stage spiking the climb hazard. And on the second stock, didn't fare as well either, as Void with Outrage was able to get Tweak onto the high platform of Town and City on the right side and take him off to the blast zone with the fair. Game 2, Tweak switches to Bayonetta and the story changes as Void is able to avoid combo extensions and make the aerial conversions for tons of damage, taking the first stock, and Void takes way too long to take care of Tweak's first stock. Game 2, Tweak switches to Bayonetta and the story changes. He's able to avoid the combo extensions and make the aerial conversions for tons of damage, taking the first stock, and Void takes way too long to take care of Tweak's first stock, and with Rage not helping the situation when it comes to following up. With over 100% on Void, Tweak takes little time to even up the set. Game 3 was about as opposite as you can get, with Void taking care of business very quickly. Needles to bouncing fish, back throw to fair without taking as much as 70%. Void punishing the landings and ledge options in less than 2 minutes to take the set lead back. So with Bayonetta seemingly depleted, Tweak goes back to DK, the famous Sheik counterpick. Not only does DK kill the featherweight Sheik early, but if DK takes the first stock, it's typically going to take a while with Outrage for Sheik to be able to kill that heavyweight with her options. But the two trade out stocks, Tweak with the back air and Void picks things up with the up smash. DK's biggest weakness, of course, coming back to the stage, and Void had him off with the fairs, but misses the bouncing fish and gets spiked for his troubles to force Game 5. Dreamland cargo throw up air time, and Tweak wastes little time getting to work. Takes the first stock, but Void, the master of disaster sheik combos, creatively is able to even up the stocks with the up air, up tilt, up air with the platforms, but the power of DK shifts in many ways. He hits hard and misses hard, so it's all a matter of getting the right opportunity, and Tweak gets the down air spike to the ding dong to finish off Sheik right off the top. Nothing Void can do about that as long as he misses that tech on the dare, and he is eliminated from the tournament. Tweak wins it. It takes 5 games and 3 characters to do so, but he does it. That's the meta man. You gotta have cargo shorts full of pockets for every situation, unless maybe you're Zero. Then we have Tweak versus Mr. R. Losers, finals, 1 Sheik down, 1 Sheik to go for Tweak. On Town City, sticking with the DK, Tweak has an immaculate 51-second game, acting like he's a cool mom packing for her kids' lunch with the 2 ding dongs. Game 2 on Sheikville, Mr. R starts his answer very quickly on the first stock with the bouncing fish, gets spiked out of the vanish, but unfazed gets another fish conversion of the bouncing variety. You know that Mr. R has to work quick in this matchup, getting the grabs, carrying DK offstage, and not getting grabbed yourself, while Tweak has to know that he's going to be taking a lot of damage in this matchup with those sheik combos, especially at, low and mid and even, into the higher percents, until F tilt starts sending him in too far of a range. Then you have to deal with those up air mix-ups, and he knows that he's going to get comboed a lot. He's going to lose neutral more often than not, but you need just 1 opening to equal the same amount of damage that it took Sheik 3 wins in neutral to do. So Mr. R continued on to Lilat to throw Tweak off stage, gets the Lilat stage spike on the down tilt. The jank is real. On Tweak's own counter pick, Mr. R is able to continually get the bouncing fish after bouncing fish, catching the high recovery with the fair, and still able to kill off the top and not allow Donkey Kong opportunities to reappear before Tweak, as Mr. R wins it 3-1. So here we are, grand finals. Mr. R versus Zero, set 2 of 3 of the night. Mr. R starts off with Sheik, looking for his 2nd win against Zero, doing so for the first time, as we know, at What the Fox 2 in Losers Finals, winning 3-1 with the Sheik, finishing things off on Duck Hunt. Zero takes game 1 very convincingly. Nothing different from what we saw from Winners Finals in this matchup, living very long and cleaning up things with the up smash without taking 40% on his 2nd stock. Game 2, Mr. R brings out the Cloud again, the best secondary Cloud in the business. I don't really know why. I guess his adaptation is just the best. He can take down Dabuz and he can beat Zero, as he showed in game 2, catching Zero, going for the spike off stage to get spiked himself. Mr. R was doing a great job, I think, at avoiding the grab, short hop daring out of shield and looking to fair or nair near the ledge, and of course there's the limit, the often deciding factor in which Mr. R cleans up with a 2 stock in game 2. Game 3, FD. Zero can indeed do a lot more guaranteed damage off of punishes without the platforms there for Mr. R to land, less options to avoid banana, and getting Cloud off stage early and often. Zero does go off stage, however, a bit too much for the super aggro approach, as they both go down to just reset the game completely, where Zero had all that momentum and they both just followed their death. And Mr. R catches him off stage again with the forward spike, a move we see paying off big dividends against Zero in this matchup. When Cloud does well against him, it's going to be the fair and the clutch usage of limit. Down 1-2, Zero runs it back to FD, and he makes it work this time. He gets his reads and is able to wrap up those stocks in true Zero fashion. So then we have game 5. Mr. R continuing to find a lot of success with the cross slash in neutral, great at intercepting approaches, shield poking, and not able to be DI'd out of at lower percents or without rage on the Cloud, and it does make a ton of damage, 90% each time for the full combo. Able to utilize smash form platforms for Mr. R, able to charge limit. He makes it count with the neutral get up into limit cross slash for the lead, and after the 2nd limit attempt whiffs, which was a very good try, Mr. R up smashes Zero at the ledge to reset the bracket, beating Zero for the 2nd time. Zero was too aggressive on a few of these stocks, and Mr. R didn't miss a beat in those crucial moments, trading out offstage in game 3, basically resetting the tone of the game, and with the fair and dare spiking, not relying on limit to take him to the promised land, but also not wasting potential opportunities nor holding onto limit too long. You can't make the shot if you don't take it, and Mr. R swishes one from downtown. Then we have Grand Finals set 2. We see more of Zero starting to do work at the ledge. Better banana pressure and getting many more grabs off of it, which leads up to the edge guard game on Cloud offstage, which is, if you were Cloud, a matchup that you're going to lose almost every time, often free in many situations, whether it's Diddy's down smash at the ledge, fairing him away when Cloud is without limit, or getting the spike when you're in that golden zone. Not even needing to go for that untechable frames of climb hazard as he goes up. So Mr. R does his best to apply pressure to Zero, but Zero was applying more to Cloud at the ledge, and that's where it counted. Cloud doesn't have a move to contest with the Diddy fair when the spacing is there, and Banana complicates the landing even if Mr. R tries to grab it. So Zero got so many more grabs to take the first 2 games. Mr. R is able to capitalize on Zero going for a roll read, and Mr. R punishes with the F tilt, catching the landing with an up air to steal a game away from him to make things 2-1. Game 4 on Battlefield, Mr. R is able to charge more limit, allowing him to simply play a better character. He starts to play better around the banana and shield with the back airs, and able to land with a bigger threat because of the platforms, allowing Cloud to convert hits and cover options on second attempts to reset neutral. Mr. R is able to call out 2 limit climb hazards out of shield, and we have ourselves a game 5. Running back to Battlefield, Zero, like in set 1, was overly aggressive, coming back to the stage, and Mr. R makes it count with the damage and gets the ledge trump into limit cross slash, or a big lead in the decisive final game 5 of Grand Finals set 2. Mr. R, with limit and the stock lead, tries to get back to stage a little too close, and Zero snuffs out the limit to even up the stocks and the game. Last stock, Mr. R goes for a hyper aggressive fair offstage to possibly end it. I don't know what that percent for Diddy. And Zero gets backstage control. Mr. R goes offstage, he air dodges, then is forced to limit, obviously looking not to get faired there. And again, Zero gets the spike to end things against Cloud. Zero's ability not to get caught in cross slash in neutral and react instead of over aggressing was the difference in the second set of Grand Finals, as Zero takes it 3-2. It really could have gone either way. Mr. R proved himself, beating Zero once again, but Mr. R continues to cosplay as his favorite cereal and comes in second. But we know he's capable, and that his Cloud just might be the best.